You guys, listen, I just recorded a 22-minute podcast and I had the microphone on mute the whole time. And every time I record a podcast, I like peek at it to make sure the red light's not on. I swear, I peeked at it and it was live, but it wasn't. Listen, I hope that whatever good nuggets I got there, I hope they come through here, and I hope otherwise I find you in the dream space. I can't believe it. I was feeling super clear about that too. Hello, it's me, Kirsten, and welcome back to the It's Giving Mystical podcast, version 2, take 2 of this week's weekly podcast. Because I don't ever re-record, for better or worse. I don't ever re-record, so start from the beginning. We are going to be in this between January and February. So reminder, January was the Magician and the Justice, a lot of one energy. You were putting things into place, whether you realized it or not. Things were coming up for growth, for movement. We talked about the destiny lines, the destiny tracks. Some part of you wanting to test itself around what you can create, what you can manifest, how much power you have, how responsive is the universe to you. And the interesting thing about this Devil card last week was that it's a beautiful thing to have the energy of the Magician and Justice revealing, clarifying for us, not just what we want, but what we want as it serves something bigger than us, as it serves the collective growth, right? The justice, the love in the streets. And the Devil card coming in was really beautiful because it was like just a last check, a last glance behind the curtain, a last glance through the trance or the fog of the trance to say, do you still choose this? Like beliefs, people, ideas, communities, commitments, service, like whatever it is, are you still on board? Do you still choose this thing? And if you do, then nice, like take a deep breath, open your eyes and say, yeah, I choose this. It might be hard. I might struggle sometimes, but I choose this. This is what I want in my life. This matters to me. And if you don't choose it, if it's like, wow, I don't want that anymore. I don't want that limiting me anymore. I don't want that to be where I spend, again, my very precious time and energy, then you're able to say, oh, I let that go. And the Devil energy helps that transform, helps you release that, kind of shift your bindings around that. So it's a beautiful way to wrap up the momentum of the Magician and the Justice energy in this Wheel of Fortune year. And then in February, we're moving into the High Priestess and the Hangman. So that energy together with a Wheel of Fortune is very much the energetics of a trust fall into the river of life, into the river of the cosmos that is the universe. So it's asking you to surrender. And there's might be some vertigo this month. There might be some sense of, I feel that I'm not in control around here. I feel the desire the universe has for me to lean back, to fall back, and to go where I'm carried, and to trust that momentum as it's happening. You couldn't fight it if you wanted to, but also the possibility of surrendering more deeply and even testing the possibility of how deeply you can surrender. I keep getting a call right now to do everything I'm doing, but deeper. And there's something about that that's here with the High Priestess and the Hangman in the Wheel of Fortune year. The card I pulled for us this week is the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is beautiful energy. As you guys know, in my belief system, in my lineage, the threes are the perfection of the suit. So the Three of Cups is the perfect expression of love, of your heart, of the emotional body. And the Three of Cups is the energy of celebration and the harvest and community and gathering around the table together and just l'chaim, to life, celebrating life. The negative or the challenge with the Three of Cups is it can be a card of maybe hedonism or overindulgence or getting lost in the celebration. So if that's something that comes up for you, then just know that's around this week ahead. But this card, and it's so crazy. So I told this whole story about my Aunt Vera. I had this aunt who was older. She's my great aunt. And she always, even when she was maybe younger, she felt older. And I don't know if this is true, but my mom used to tell me that in Irish families, there was this unspoken commitment that siblings could be married, but that one sibling would commit to the church and one sibling would commit to taking care of the family and not marrying, taking care of the parents. And whether that's true or not, that was a belief system that I was raised with. And Aunt Vera was the one who stayed with her parents. And she was a piece of work. She was a little bit of a war horse. I always loved her. I found her kind of charming and amusing, but she was a tough cookie. And when she passed away, her funeral was the first funeral I remember attending as an adult. So I had lost when I was young, but it's the first funeral. I think I flew back from Chicago. I was with my family as an adult. I was with my aunts and uncles. We went to the bar after, and I think it was the first time I ever had a vodka tonic with extra lime. And I remember sitting with my aunts and uncles and my mother and my stepfather and just like laughing and telling stories about Elvira and telling stories about their lives growing up. And it was the first time I ever had the perspective around death that it is terrible to lose someone and we miss them all of the time and forever. It changes our world. And yet we are still here together. There's something about the celebration, the quality of the celebration that becomes possible when you're celebrating in the face of death or in the face of loss. And there's something about the not even urgency, but the vitality of that sense. And I hope you can understand what I mean, that obviously we don't want to lose the people we love, but there is a quality in which it heightens our experience of still being here. It heightens our experience of being alive and together, and to have more celebration unfolding, the more celebration, more life will be possible, that we still get to be here together. That is really the energy I feel for us with the Three of Cups this week ahead. So notice where that is in your life. And it's very obvious collectively. And I remember learning that from Black activists and queer activists, especially as this idea of activism becomes something that's more a part of our everyday or more widely experienced or more widely necessary, that there's no room for despair. We have to keep that connection to what we're fighting for, to the love, the community, the connection, the celebration, the simple truth that we live to fight another day. We live to experience another day. That is really the heart of the message of the Three of Cups, is don't forget to celebrate that you're still here. Don't get confused. It might be difficult. It might be heartbreaking. Life is not easy. And yet we're still here. And that is always something to celebrate. It goes back to that, whatever that verse in the Bible, for everything there is a season. The energy of the Three of Cups is the harvest, the celebration. It's like there's always something to find gratitude for, find love, find celebration in. And I saw this beautiful video of a crowd like protesting and singing in Minneapolis. And it was so beautiful. This idea of it's horrible. Like nobody should be out. No one should need to be out in the streets. And yet when we're out in the streets together, there is something about noticing each other for the first time and noticing your neighbor and realizing that strangers are willing to stand up and fight for your rights, and that you're willing to stand up and fight for something bigger than yourself as well. It's the best part of justice. Then in your own life, there's just this idea of remembering who matters, remembering the ties that bind, remembering who your community is, remembering who the people are that are with you in the difficult times and also with you in celebration. You have friends who are going to be there when it's hard, and you have friends who are going to be there when it's beautiful, but those precious people who are there for you in the hardest times, but then right there celebrating with you in the best of times. The reminder with the Three of Cups is you need to remember that we're still here together. You need to put energy into those relationships. One of my college roommates is turning 50, and I was hesitating to go to the celebration because it's happening at a very intense time for me. And last night I was like, wait, no, this matters. So even if I have to twist myself in a few knots to get there, this is something that I want to put my life, my body, my energy behind. So the Three of Cups is going to be this beautiful reminder this week that we are in this together. We are still here together, and we are worth fighting for because we still have life to live. We still have a celebration we still have miles to walk, and we still have beauty to celebrate in our lives. That Instagram cheesy thing of like, you have people you're still going to fall in love with. You have friends you haven't even met yet that are going to be so important to you. You have places you go that are going to change your life. The best is yet to come. There's still so much beauty on the road ahead. Don't get lost in the hard times or in the despair, and maybe even let the hard times, let the despair be a contrast, be a relief, so that you can actually feel even more fully how precious it is that you're still here and that we're still here together. That's the language that's like the language that keeps coming through, and it came through at the end of the last podcast I recorded, and it's here. Obviously, it wants to be said more clearly, but this idea of we're still here together, and that is something precious, and that is something to celebrate, and that is not something to cast aside, is that needs your energy. That needs you to turn towards it and honor it and put your energy, take time. And I will say this card has always reminded me of my mother and her two sisters, and it's one of my key birth cards. And it reminds me now more of my cousins and my aunt, and as we continue to gather and continue to create a life together and a family system together, I always think of them. And this is the anniversary of my aunt who passed away a year ago. It's both her birthday and the anniversary of her death, and I'm going to be with my family on Friday. And this is that energy. It's so precious to gather with the people you love, to look them in the eyes, to laugh with them, to have a shared history. And we're still here together. It's not over yet. It's not over yet. And there's still miles to walk. There's still battles to fight, but there's also still parties to be had. There's still dancing to do, to raise our glass and say L'chaim. We're still here and we're still alive. And that is not something to take lightly or to discount how powerful that is. That's the card of the week. And let it be a reminder to you that there is no room for despair. Do things get hard? Do we need to take minutes to feel our hearts, even in treacherous times, difficult times? Yes. And that's not all that we are. So we have to keep kind of one foot on the dance floor. That's the energy. And my cousin Maddie, she keeps talking about, I think she calls it like sacred party girl energy or something like that for this year ahead. But that's very much here. We celebrate and we dance and we honor life. And that's really powerful. Don't underestimate how powerful that is. Have you seen Sinners, you guys? There's that beautiful scene where he's playing music and it calls on his ancestors, but it also calls on his future, the future line. And they talk about this dancing and music and what that creates in the field. That's here. So don't underestimate the power of joy, the power of celebration, the power of community and fellowship when things are difficult. I guess that's what I would say to you. And I hope you have a great celebration this week. I hope you find yourself with friends or family or people that you love, and you look around and say, yeah, some days are hard, and yet we still are here together. All right. Aho. I'll talk to you soon.